Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we are continuing our playthrough of Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, covering up until we're told about the dual blade from... I wrote El Freya, but that's the city that we're in. So
that's where we learn about it.
Yeah. His name is Artea?
Artea.
That's
Artea is who tells us about it, yes. Artea and El Freya, they sound the same.
Yeah, but before we get to all of that, how was everyone's week?
Man, I don't remember what I already talked about in the post-show that we recorded pre-show this week.
Sorry about that weird continuity gaffe.
Yeah, it's weird. A wizard did it. Wizard caused us to not be able to record when we expected to record. But I don't know. I'm having some trouble at work. There are some things that aren't great about my job. I don't want to go into details. I'll just let that be mysterious. I realized as I was introducing the topic, I don't want to go into details about it. So
the unspoken prayer request of podcast check.
Unspoken request. Gosh. Yes.
What is this?
Oh, are you not Southern Baptist? Someone who's never lived in the South?
Or evangelical?
No, I was raised basically entirely non-religious, or as close to that as you can in America.
So, long story short, so I'm just going to local it to Southern Baptist in Southeast Texas. It might be different elsewhere. It doesn't matter. But traditionally, you had two church services on Sunday, a Sunday morning and a Sunday evening, and then you had a Wednesday night prayer service where everyone would just meet up. It was very chill, and everyone would just talk about what they needed prayers on. And you had the option to say, I need prayers, but I don't want to tell you what it's about. So you would just say, I have an unspoken prayer request today. And everyone would be like, heard, help so-and-so with whatever the fuck it is they're going through. And it always, like, bring it up or don't, really. It's just, it always has made me upset. And so Bernard having an unspoken prayer request this week brought me back.
Yeah, it's like scheduling stuff that it's just being annoying, but mainly. But yeah.
Yeah.
We play TTRPGs. We know scheduling is annoying.
Yep. We record several sub podcasts. We know scheduling is annoying.
We theoretically record sub podcasts.
Hey, one came out 2 days ago when they hear this, okay? We did it. I of course recorded it 3 weeks ago, but that doesn't matter. I finally edited it, and it's going to be up.
Nice.
So I did something fun, which was I went and did the thing that in the dark time that we live in, a lot of people have been saying to do something to maybe make it slightly less dark. And I actually did it, which was I went and met some real life local other queers. I went to, there was a evidently if you're in the Boston area. Let me give you a hot tip. If you're in the Boston area and you're in any way sort of like the word sapphic at least partially describes you, there is a dyke night at a bar, and so I went to that. And when I say I went to that, I mean I literally like took the tram into Boston to go to that. With no one else, just like, I'm going to go on an adventure and see how this goes. And the answer was, it was really terrifying at first because I'm so bad at socializing with people I don't know. I've always found it baffling, the idea that people can go somewhere where they don't know anybody and just strike up conversations naturally. I don't know how that happens. And so I spent like an hour and a half being anxious, badly attempting to start conversations. And then I met some really cool people in the bathroom who I asked for help with my outfit because I was like, maybe my butch outfit I'm wearing is too tame, because this was a fairly spicy event, I will say. And they gave me some tips, and then we hung out, and they introduced me to people, and I had a great time, and I've made several new friends. I'm going to probably be going to this every month I can for the foreseeable future, and it rocks. I'm
Nice.
really happy. Um, Tried a lot of new experiences. It was delightful. The other thing I've been doing lately is, so I've talked before a little bit about all of the immense amount of my life I've put into Balatro.
Hmm.
And specifically the cryptid mod for Balatro that someone has done, which was just like, hey, what if we made Balatro more unbalanced and added more goofy shit into it? To which I said, yes, please, that sounds delicious. There is another mod that has added more ridiculous shit into Balatro, but that shit is even more up my alley because it's a mod called Magic the Jokering.
Oh
It
God.
adds Magic the Gathering cards into Balatro. And it's absolutely insane. I love how well they've been able to translate the mechanics of Magic into it. One of them is because you have the five colors of Magic: white, blue, black, red, green. And it's like, okay, well, let's just assign each of those to one of the four playing card suits. You go, wait, that's 5 and 4. How does that work? Easy. They made a fifth suit of playing cards called the Clover. So your deck starts with 65 cards. It's absolutely bananas, but it's so fun. It's so delightful being like, oh, I'm gonna lava axe this goal the round, so I'm gonna do 5 damage to it. And I'm going to make my build, my jokers. I'm going to get relentless rats and see how many relentless rats I can get, because I can have an infinite number of relentless rats. Like, it's dumb, but it's delightful.
That sounds amazing.
People who make mods, these are the kinds of mods you should be making.
Absolutely.
Also, shout out to whoever, those people who did the Fallout Who Vegas Doctor Who mod. That's also in the correct brand of making mods.
That's that's so good. I love that so much. I almost want to unblock myself from Balatro so that I can
Do
Don't.
it. Do it.
No, I just finally started going to sleep at a decent hour. I'm healing from my Balatro wounds. Uh, as for me and what I did this week, and by this week I mean since we recorded this morning, um, so long story short, I've talked about it before, but Fable, the website, is really cool. But they don't know what they have, and they're focusing on those stupid wrong parts of it. They are focusing on AI for some fucking reason, and also social networking, and not the main thing that they have, which is a book club app. And as a book club app, it's really cool. You type in the book that you have, and it checks in their database, and it makes a forum for the book with a topic for every chapter, so that you can go in and discuss it asynchronously with the people in your book club. It's really cool. They basically don't even talk about that part of it anymore, and it's underdeveloped. Can't do a lot of things. So I made my own with blackjack and hookers using my Python knowledge from doing shit at work, and the fact that I made Discord bots for the our Discord, what, 7 years ago now. I put those two things together, followed a couple tutorials, and now I made a Discord bot that I can tell it what book I'm reading and how many chapters are in it, and it makes me a Discord forum with a topic per chapter, so that I can easily make my own book clubs for my various partners and friends that I have book clubs with. And
As someone who loves book clubs, that's the dopest thing ever.
yeah, I big recommend learn a skill. Sometimes it's fun to just spend a Sunday learning how to do something new.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Especially if that thing is Python. Python is stupid easy to understand, and it's like stupid powerful too. So Yeah, just
I,
learn Python, make some
I
Python
need to
stuff.
spend a Sunday learning what network attached storage is and how it works. Man,
I could
yeah.
teach you. I do that for my job.
If you want to be available to answer questions, that would be great.
Yes, absolutely. But other than that, I have no idea what I did this week. I couldn't
Did
tell
you
you.
play Lufia?
I remember what I did this week. This one was the big thing I was going to talk about when we talked about this morning, and I'd completely forgotten because I had such a good day today. Thursday fucking sucked. So
Oh no.
on Thursday, I find some emails in my inbox. I tell people all the time that the IT team, we get marketed at like fucking crazy, and our inboxes are a minefield and we can never find anything. So if you need something, put it in a ticket or reach out to me on Teams. And of course, these people had sent me emails about something, and it was for their printer that I had gone into their office the week before. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with your printer. Every single one of you just keeps pressing the wrong fucking button. When in Windows, when you click add a printer, the first thing that pops up is it's called WSD, but it's the WSD version of the printer. But if you're in an IT environment, that's not the one you want. You want to click the print server version. And everybody was using the wrong one. It was causing a lot of problems. And so I said what the problem was. I put it in their group chat how to fix it. I told them, don't use this one and everything will be fixed. And then I found the emails that it was like 3 days later where they were just like, hey, it's messing up again. It's messing up, blah, 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 blah. So I had to go back out there on Thursday to quote unquote fix it. But really all I was going to do was sit there and delete the wrong printer from everybody's computer. So I start to drive out there and I see that I'm pretty low on gas, and I'm like, okay, I'll remember to get gas on the way. But then I have ADHD. And so instead of driving to that office, I drive to corporate. And I'm like, well, shit, this isn't the right way, what I was supposed to do. So I turn around from corporate and I head towards that office, and I run out of gas. And it's 4 degrees outside. And so I had to walk
shit.
in 4-degree weather to go and get some gas. And it was really cold. Thankfully, Scarlett had left her gloves in the back seat, and they were stretchy enough that I could fit my hands in it, so my hands didn't freeze. But for some reason, her mittens don't have thumbs. I guess it's for phones and stuff, but all the ones I've ever seen have like either the thermal pass through, or like you can fold fold part of it back, but this one just straight up didn't have a thumb. So that one thumb was freezing fucking cold all the way to the gas station. I get my gas. I start walking back. I'm almost all the way back when a cop pulls over and asks me, hey, like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, that's me right there. They're like, oh, do you want to ride? I'm like, absolutely not. I'm fine. I do not want to ride in a cop car on purpose. And so I get up there to do my gas, and so my gas can, the spout comes completely off, and then you turn it upside down and screw it back in, and that keeps it closed. But there's a little plastic Dumaflachi that like keeps it closed. That had like shrunk in the cold, or the thing around it shrunk in the cold or something, but I could not get that off for the life of me. And so I was sitting there on the side of the road in 4-degree weather, fumbling with this little thing, trying to put my gas in the car. I go to the office. I've fixed the printer. It was no big deal again, of course. And then I finally come home afterwards. So it was all this stuff for nothing, basically. And on top of that, I forgot several times to get gas in the 10 minutes I was on the road.
Damn. I gotta say, and I'm gonna apologize ahead of time, but it's truly the thing. How does it feel having lived the episode plot from a sitcom from like the early 2000s? Because that's what you just did.
Yeah, I do that frequently. I have kids.
That is true. You do that.
Every sitcom about having
Swear to
children
God.
is just truth. It happens every time.
You were describing this, and my brain was just like, it sounds like this. I swear I've seen this episode of According to Jim back when I didn't do anything but watch TV because I was a child.
Yeah. So that
According
was
to Jim. Man, I don't have anything to say about that.
what I do have things to say about is Lufia and the Fortress of Doom.
The party has to continue their journey, so they head east to the town of Cernagle, where there isn't much except for sand, and that one guy we mentioned last week who runs all the shops. There's a little girl who says, "I can't stand all this sand. I wish I had some fireworks." And this strikes me as very realistic little kid dialogue.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if those two sentences were connected in Japanese and it's just some extremely strange translation mishap. But maybe she just wants fireworks. Anyway, the party hears from the townsfolk that to get to Alfreya, they'll first need to pass through the Lost Forest south of town, but only an elf can find the way through it. The party heads that way and finds a hut outside the Lost Forest, where they meet a mysterious old man who confirms they'll need an elven guide. He says he knows someone who can help, but she's only a child. It's Jaren. The party protests, especially Lufia, because it seems she wants to be the only girl in Totino's party.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I think I've said this on the podcast before. I don't love the trope as jealousy is a sign of romance.
Yeah. Eventually, Totinos decides to let Jaren join the party, but Lufia is not happy about it. The party heads to the Lost Forest, and thank God, there's no puzzle. Jaren just tells you which way to go, and you go that way. It doesn't even take a long time.
Yeah, you basically just sidestep one screen. It's
just like,
delightful.
Go east, go south, go west, go south. If I recall correctly, it's just something like that, and you're done. Only an elf could do that.
Mm-hmm. God, remember the Lost Woods and Tales of Fantasia?
I try not to remember Tales of Fantasia.
Yeah, that's good. Those Lost Woods are probably the worst ones I've ever done.
Was it actually a Lost Woods thing, or was it just a really huge forest where everything sort of looked the same?
It was a really huge forest where they reused level layouts.
Yeah.
So it didn't teleport you anywhere, but it was still ridiculous to find. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that being awful. I remember most things about that game being awful.
Yes.
But anyway, back in a good video game, the party gets through the forest and heads through a shrine connecting this island to another island. In the shrine is a mysterious old man, as are often found in shrines. He says that the way to Alfreya is hidden among the 3 towers ahead. No one has ever found it, and the monsters in the towers are strong. And spoiler alert, he ain't kidding. The party heads forward and finds the town of Genoba. You know, Genoba, the mother of Sephiboth. Again, there's not much here except hints about the 3 towers, so I'll summarize the stuff we eventually figure out. Basically, there are blue, green, and red towers, and we have to put gems of matching colors on the pedestals at the top of each one. But it turns out to not be so simple, because to find the blue gem, you have to go to the green tower, if I recall correctly, something like that, and basically the way things are laid out, we have to go through each tower at least twice.
You have to go through each tower at least twice, and there's an extra complication.
Yes, when you find the red gem, which is a sapphire but red, it's been smashed to pieces. So next to the red tower is the town of Ruan, which is in trouble because, like, the water fairy, which is apparently a thing, disappeared because of an evil ghost, which is apparently a thing, and now the lake where they get their, water is a poison swamp. Hidetaka Miyazaki would be thrilled, but the people of Ruan are not. Ruan also has a jeweler's shop where Totinos asks if they have red sapphires. The jeweler is like, "You mean rubies?" And Totino says, "No, red sapphires." The jeweler says that's what rubies are, dumbass. And this is true. Sapphires can be various colors, and the red ones are called rubies. I didn't know that, and neither did Totino's.
I knew that.
Nice.
I learned that very recently.
I don't know how Totino's knew enough about gemstones to identify the smashed gem as a red sapphire, but didn't know enough to know that that was the same thing as a ruby, but whatever.
Because the other two precious stones are jades. It's not like he got a green sapphire and a blue sapphire, and so it was like, all right, the red sapphire. No, it was completely different. He was like, well, this can't be a ruby. It must be a red sapphire.
And he knew it because the UI said you find a red sapphire that's smashed to pieces. There was a text box that said that, and he read the text box. Anyway, the jeweler says they used to get rubies from the mines in Medan, but there haven't been any shipments for a long time. The party uses magic to warp back to Medan and heads to the old mine in hopes of finding a suitable ruby. They find a mysterious old man there. This game is lousy with mysterious old men.
Absolutely.
There's just so many.
The old man says he's been mining rubies for 70 years. Totino says they need a ruby to meet Artea, and the old man asks why they need to meet Artea, and Totinos explains the plot. The old man is like, I have just the thing, and he brings out the Hope Ruby? What?
Yeah. I had gotten part of his story when I was lost during the Hope Ruby thing last time, and when I stumbled up into there, he was like, oh, bunch of years ago, I found the Hope Ruby and I gave it to the king, and I keep my special stuff in here. And we're like, can we go in? He goes, absolutely not. And so it turns out the special thing that he was hiding was the real Hope Ruby.
Yeah, this is sort of a weird plot twist, but he saved it here, and a fake one was used. And he says he's glad to hear the fake ruby was destroyed because wishing on things is bullshit. So he says the party should take the Hope Ruby and use it to fulfill the wish of defeating the Sinistrals using their own power instead of wishing on something, or I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The party takes the Hope Ruby and heads to the top of the Red Tower, where they find the evil ghost that cursed Ruan. They kill it. It's a difficult fight, but it's really fun, in my opinion. I'm really having to use all my tools in these boss fights, and
Same.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
Like, I'm using items, I'm using spells, I'm using debuffs.
Right? I cannot think of the last time I played a JRPG where it was like, oh, the debuff spell is actually really good and useful.
Yeah, the drain spell doesn't just like weaken their armor by a little bit like it does in a lot of games. It removes their raw defense stat. So it's real darn effective.
Yeah, you can go from doing like 13 damage with an attack to doing like 54 damage with an attack.
Yeah. It's
important.
And it stacks, which is awesome.
I do think there are diminishing returns.
Oh, there are definitely diminishing returns. It also seems like if you wait too long, it wears off.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to re-up it every so often. But oh no, I have to keep using the good spell.
After the double ghost dies, the water fairy appears and says it will restore the lake to its original splendor. And I'm like, sounds good.
It's not really why I'm here, but like, cool. I'm happy for them, I guess.
I'm glad the lake will be restored to its original splendor. I'm glad I saved you or whatever.
I'm kind of here for different reasons, but sure.
Yeah, if the monsters around here weren't so hard, so I beelined it into town to go to the inn, there's a world in which I went straight here and had no idea what the hell was going on. It was just like, all right, fairy, see you later, whoever you are.
Yeah. So you might think that since we're at the top of the red tower, we might as well place the red gem on the pedestal, but no, you have to do the towers in the right order, and you can't have already done the other towers because you have to defeat the evil ghost in order to get the blue jade from the basement, which you need for the blue tower, which is the first one. And apparently jade can be blue, but it's super rare. We're learning all sorts of things about precious stone colors this week.
And that's a rock fact.
I don't recognize the reference that I assume that is.
It's over the garden wall.
Yeah.
Okay. I should watch that.
It's good.
It's extremely good.
The party heads back to Ruan because it's right next to the tower and they need to heal. The innkeeper lets them stay for free because they saved the town. So I guess the water fairy told everyone we were the ones responsible for saving the town. So nice. So we go up all the towers and place the gems on the pedestals in the right order. After placing the final gem, Jaren's like, "Hey, I hear the voice of Sylph with my special elf ears, and it's telling me a magic that will take us to Elfreya." And in the original version, because I'm watching long play to take notes, in the original version, the name Sylph, Sylph, is like horribly mangled in the transliteration.
I didn't even recognize it that it was Sylph until just now.
Yeah, it's something freaky.
I love something freaky.
Yeah, I forget what it is, but it's like, yeah, it's not very recognizable as, oh, this was supposed to be Sylph, like the thing that is a mythology thing that I don't know about. But anyway, the party is warped to Elfreya. The elves there are actually pretty welcoming for the most part, except one guy who tells us to leave if we don't have any business there. But we do have business there, so the party wanders into the upper floor of a house, and a woman is like, what are you doing here? But then someone inside the room says to let them enter, and it's Artea. He sensed Totino's energy and says that he thought for a moment that Maxim had returned. There's lots of stuff in this game about like energy and stuff,
There
but like it
is,
hasn't
yeah.
really been explored, like energy and flow and all this. But like we never have old Ben Kenobi sitting down and explaining what the Force is.
Yeah, they have very good vibe senses.
Yes. So Totino says the Sinistrals have returned and they need Artea's help. And Artea's like, well, even for an elf, I'm pretty old, and also I'm blind now. And I'm like, I've seen a Zatoichi film, you can be blind and still kick ass. Artea says he can't help, but the dual blade could. It's the sword Maxim used to defeat the Sinistrals. Its power comes from its wielder's energy. Artea says Totino's must use the dual blade to defeat the Sinistrals, and Totino's is like, where is it? And Artea's like, well, it's probably at the bottom of the ocean with Doom Island. And Totino's is like, I can't go there.
That's I don't know if you knew this. I can't. Humans can't just like breathe underwater.
Or withstand the immense water pressure at the bottom of the ocean, or sea down there. There's lots of problems. Artea says that Professor Rael Shaya could maybe help us. We've heard of him, and Artea says he's a descendant of Lexus Shaya, a brilliant inventor who helped the Lufia 2 party way back in the day. Rael is also an inventor, so maybe he knows a way to travel under the sea. And I mean maybe, we can't prove he hasn't invented something like that. Artea says Professor Shaya is in the city of Odell, and gives the party a key which will let them into a shrine which connects the island to another island, which is the island which Odell is on. And I'm like, are we ever going to get a ship, or are we just going to go through shrines which connect islands?
You know, as they do.
Oh yeah, Sam found the what it is. It's Shilf, Shilf.
Which, like, knowing katakana is, I see where they're coming from, but no.
Yeah. And also, Artea gives Jaren his bow, saying that she'll be able to use it since she has elf blood, and it's a really good bow. And
It's
also,
incredible.
bows hit entire groups of enemies, like a Dragon Quest whip, which I don't think that's how bows work, but then again, I don't think that's how whips work either.
I'm not going to complain. I think it actually makes. I feel like a lot of JRPGs when they try to add in a bow character, I've rarely seen like that done in like a really like mechanically interesting way, and making it be like she doesn't hit as hard as other people, but she does hit the grouping of enemies, and the way the grouping of enemies mechanic works in this game in particular just makes that like a crunchy, fun, interesting thing for encounters.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been wondering if we were going to get a weapon that works like a Dragon Quest whip, and I'm glad we finally did, and I'm really enjoying it, and Jaren kicks ass.
Yeah, Dragon Quest groups of monsters without a Dragon Quest whip just are kind of annoying. The whip kind of makes it, and I'm glad that we just got one.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the notes for this week. We had to do a lot of dungeoning this week. We had to go up those towers and
3
down those towers
dungeons.
and up those towers and down those towers.
Yeah. So let's.
I was so relieved when the mines were not a dungeon; it was just like a room.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the hints in game where it's like blue is blue and green is green and red is last. So blue, green, and red. And my brain stored that away as green, blue, and red. So I climbed the towers way too many times. And I'm not proud of that
I
fact.
did the same thing.
I
It's
also
alphabetical order.
Also, I went around the lake and went into red last. Or first, I went red first, and then used the clue in the red tower to be like, "Oh, I should have gone the blue one first," and went back. But then I misunderstood and thought green was actually first. I went to green, and then I went back to blue finally. So I had so much traipsing up and down these towers.
yeah, in one of the towers I it's the one with the cool stairs puzzle. I found the switch for the stairs puzzle like my third time in there where I wasn't fine because I know I was looking for blue, green, and red gems, and you find a blue ring, a green ring, and a red ring, which have nothing to do with the puzzle. They're just really good rings that you get
Yeah.
at this time. But because I found all those rings, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And then I go to the next one and I get the jade, and I'm like, well, shit, I was supposed to get the jade, and so I had to go back and find the thing. I was all up and down these towers. I'm so glad I'm playing on emulator, and so I can speed through the fact that I don't have a lower encounter rate like you guys do. This was a dreadful week.
Yeah. I actually didn't speed up the encounters at all, but I've been playing while like watching Castlevania with people, and
Mhm.
so I'm able to like it isn't as dreadful for me.
Yeah.
But let's formally transition to memorable moments.
Yes.
I have one memorable moment. And I think it is truly the memorable moment of this entire section of the game, which is when you go in the Green Tower, and on the first floor there is an inn, and you go in, and your characters are like, "Excuse me, sir, why are you? What business do you get in here?" Like the characters start a conversation with the innkeeper about the feasibility of his business plan, and I think that's delightful. And I
His
love that this game keeps doing this.
and his answer intrigues me because it could be a joke or it could be a hint of plot points to come. But he says, I don't know, I just keep seeing the same people come in all the time, and so they all pay really good or whatever. So it's like, is this time travel? Is this like a second party? Is something important having here? Is this just a joke about the fact that we keep coming in and paying the ridiculous $150 because there's no healing places around? I'm not sure.
I don't
I
know
just,
either, but I'm intrigued.
I just love that. Presumably, they were like, well, we need a place where you can heal at each tower in order for the game to not be miserable. But we don't want to make another town because that would be hard. So we'll just put an inn in the tower, and we'll have a weird scene where the characters question it. And I'm like,
Mhm.
sure, yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, because no one questioned it in Paper Mario 1, where there's just an inn in the final place. So I'm glad someone is paying attention.
In Paper Mario 1, isn't it like you're sleeping in the jail cells or something?
No, there's an inn run, effectively an inn being run by like one of the toads who like hid out and has not managed to stay uncaptured this entire time. It's just like, oh hey Mario, yeah, you could use the inn, I guess.
Hmm.
Uh, I just this game continues doing stuff like that, and similarly, there's a lot of like when you go to the elf village and you talk to people there, there's a lot of people be like, "Oh, a human. Oh, Yeah, oh, do you want to like stay the night here? Oh, that's free. Like, I'm not gonna charge you. I never see humans.
Yeah, I feel like there's not a ton to talk about this week
No,
because
No.
mainly we're just going up and down towers.
they continue to have the best Dragon Quest adjacent dungeon design,
Agreed.
and it is very obvious to me that this team would then go on to make Lufia 2, because like I mentioned the stair puzzle, that puzzle's fantastic for it to just be a fancy hallway type dungeon. It was very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed these towers that I saw 900 times.
It's important that we enjoy them, considering we saw them 900 times.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, there were not a lot of things going on besides towers this week. Did we get any interesting monsters this week? I feel like there was one.
Oh, there were some. There's one that looks like a green pumpkin with an axe.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that dude's definitely. I'm curious what his deal is.
Yeah,
Why he wants to kill me so bad.
His name is Big Meanie.
Yeah, big.
Oh yeah, Big Meanie. There in a previous
Cowboy
week.
Curtis and John.
In a previous week, I forgot to mention it. There is some sort of rabbit enemy, huge bunny. I found a picture of it, and it's just so scary looking. Do y'all remember it?
No, not offhand.
No, I don't.
I'm posting the image.
Oh God,
It's so scary.
Yes, I do remember. Some real banicula.
Yeah, that is a man in a haunted Easter Bunny outfit.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it, but at least it doesn't have photorealistic human lips. So, I'll take what I can get.
Oh dear, I remember that from Lufia.
From Legaia.
Legaia.
That was.
These games sound the same.
I have thought they were the same game a good chunk of my life, and I don't blame you.
I never finished Legaia, and now I'm like, well, I kind of want to start over, but I don't know. I don't know when I'll finish Legaia.
It's good. I really like
It is.
the last chunk.
Nice.
Yeah, the last one's really good.
I haven't listened to those episodes because I don't want spoilers.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all she wrote about the towers 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So that will
if they liked it. Oh, I was gonna try to segue into it.
No, that's my job. So that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where you can donate to help support us. If you do, you can get some extra benefits. At $1 a month, the Gadabout tier gets access to our bonus feed, where we have after shows or pre-shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show that are backer only, like the JRPG canon that is back with gumption. There's an idiom outside of my brain that I was trying to say, and I don't even know what it probably
Back with a vengeance.
Revengeance?
I don't think it was vengeance. I don't think I was going for. I think there was like a other like less used one, but I don't know. It's back, baby.
Coming back in style.
No fucking clue. It's probably not even real. But
Probably.
at $5 a month, the warrior tier gets the above, but I also get to read their names at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Frosthair, Dragon Slayer 19, Kaldranas, Freddy Rodriguez, Aaron524, and Jfro Prime. And then at $20 a month, the Luminary tier gets all of the above, plus a 1-sentence shout out to whatever it is they're passionate about. So shoutouts to El Tantavi, who wants you to check out Aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shout out to Vimk, who says they explosively birthed malformed shadow all around.
Ew.
And shout out to It's Claire Time, who says, for you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game, I just think it's neat. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.